Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section. So, Mabinogi H-line skirt production. In this article, I will introduce the process of making a slim skirt, a type of skirt that is not commonly used in games. In the last post, the fact is that the Popo skirt is, that's covered in one of the other Eternity posts. We covered the process of combining key animation, physics, and retargeting to create a flowing skirt and hair. However, in Mabinogi, there are various costumes that are difficult to solve with this method alone. This time in particular, we'll talk about the process of expressing clothing such as the slim skirt that fits the legs perfectly. A short, slim skirt, usually above the knees, is often worn with skinning on the legs. What is skinning? It is a process of applying weights to the surface mesh of a 3D model so that it can move along with the bone that moves along the character. I think the stewardess costume would be the equivalent of the slim skirt example given above. You can see that there are no major problems even if you walk or sit down. So here you can see the stewardess costume. And there's the character like sitting. And there's the character moving. And you can see how like the skirt is moving with the character. So yeah, that looks really good. Among the slim skirts, the slim skirt that goes down to below the knees is not often used in character settings based on this book. An example would be the Eleanor New Look dress. I think the developers put a lot of thought into presenting as many different chairs as possible. It couldn't be helped. I created a skirt pattern using the method used in the Popo skirt is actually post, and then proceeded with skinning it. The skirt's natural form, which is attractive for its fitted feel on the legs, was not preserved, and instead it ended up looking too eerie, which was not what was intended. So here you can see what it looks like. This time I tried skinning the legs like I did for the stewardess costume. And here you can see what it looks like in this example. It kind of looks like the legs are kind of clipping through in the back maybe, I don't know. And maybe in like in the front, like kind of near the knees. When standing still, the fit is maintained, but when moving, the skin on the knees and thighs is exposed through the clothing. So yeah, I was right. So if you look at it, you can see like the skin coming through on the knees and like the back of their legs. It's like clipping through, that's bad. A sense of form, natural movement, unable to give up either one, I began to wonder if there was a way to express the advantages of both methods. Is there any way to maintain a fitted shape but prevent skin from poking through the knees and thighs? I installed an additional piece to assist with rotation according to the movement of the leg. Yeah, you don't want clipping through the actual skirt or clothing because that just doesn't look good. However, I was not able to get satisfactory results because the texture between the legs was excessively stretched. Splitting the skirt mesh did not stop the map from growing. So you can see how like it's too stretched out, like right here. To compensate for the excessive stretching of the texture, I set up an additional bone that only follows 70% of the leg movement when the leg moves along a certain axis. But it's not easy, problems still occur. Like you can see in this, that still looks a little stretched out down here, it doesn't look good. Though it responded to the rotation of the body, it did not respond to the change in length, so the shape of the skirt became even more strange. There were more problems than I can list in the text. We added nodes that respond to changes in the length of the main body and control the length of the auxiliary body, and we did some additional work on some parts and tested them. So you can see like a picture here where like the skin of the knee and part of the leg is like coming through the skirt, and here it's not. In the test environment, it seems to have been somewhat resolved. So this looks a little bit better in this example. It's not perfect, but it's better. How would this be applied in the in-game environment? Here's another example. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Although it's not as perfect as in reality, you can see that the shape of the skirt is maintained and the texture is greatly improved in stretching areas. The part where the skin was poking out also disappeared completely. So yeah, it doesn't look perfect, but it is a massive improvement over the other results. Let's compare the images when skinning was done only on the legs without additional bone settings, and when skinning was done after the additional bone settings. So this is what it looked like before, this is what it looked like after. Before, after. Yeah, you can see that this looks a lot better. Looking at the before and after images, it seems to have improved a lot. Of course, due to the nature of the game, there may still be some imperfect parts. But moving away from expressions like steel hair or steel skirts, we are constantly working to ensure that you, the Militians, can enjoy the show as beautifully as possible. So yeah, I think they're working really hard on this. Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section of Mabinogi. So, high heel straps are not even. As you all know, there is a very strange phenomenon in Eren. It is a phenomenon where you are clearly wearing stockings, but when you change your shoes, they change into leggings. So here's the example. However, there are shoes that do not exhibit this strange phenomenon. So it only happens with like certain pairs of shoes, like with the bunny slippers, it's not happening, and then like with these shoes, it is. To explain this, let's take a quick detour and look at body structure of Militians. The body of Militian includes the feet. Because the basic foot shape was made flat, it was impossible to express a pointed toe like when wearing high heels. We have successfully implemented the method of hiding the base foot and attaching the high heels to the body. However, because the basic feet are artificially hidden, development proceeds with two problems. So 1, due to the absence of a basic foot, the shoe itself had to be designed to have a foot designed so that the instep is not visible. And 2, because the ankle connecting the leg and shoe was not smooth, the design of the ankle strap had to be included. Since the base foot was removed, it was impossible to wear high heels on bare feet. But this was solved by adding instep skin to the shoes. So that's how the strange phenomenon mentioned earlier occurred. What it looks like when you wear high heels that reveal the instep. From the development team's perspective, it was a bit awkward for the stockings to disappear when the instep was exposed. But in order to solve this, depending on the type of item, a new system had to be built to allow for separate shader code to be executed. When rendering the instep skin of the shoe, we also needed the ability to reference the foot texture on the outfit. It was impossible to solve these problems in Pleon Engine, which has a lot of legacy code woven into it. However, Eternity's Unreal Engine supports all the features mentioned above. Design constraints 1 and 2 have been removed. The screenshot below is the result of testing the Love Island decoration shoes by making them in the Eternity high heel modeling method. You can see that the stockings and shoes are worn together, but they are still connected at the ankle without any break. So when wearing Love Island decoration shoes with Love Island decoration wear and Street Magician outfit and stockings. So here you can see that the problem isn't happening anymore. The new high heels from Eternity will be more attractive and natural as shown in the example above. So yeah, it's nice they're fixing little outfit glitches like this. Should give a lot more fashion choices when we move to Eternity. Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section. So this one's walking into Unreal, Tara's construction. In the early stages of the move, we prioritized concerns like how can we implement the unique sensibility of Mabinogi in Unreal Engine. Just when we thought we could catch our breath after achieving small but meaningful results, we were immediately faced with the mission to rebuild a massive amount of buildings that had been produced over 20 years ago. Really, we got stuck in a swamp of production that seemed to have no end. The workload was overwhelming, but because each building had its own unique theme and identity, we had no choice but to personally create each one with great care. So here we can see some of the buildings in Dumbarton. There were buildings with elaborate patterns all over the city, and the problem was that there was really a lot of them. So modularize it. So that's how the modularization process started. Fortunately, Tara was a city with standardized designs, so it was possible to plan the separation and reorganization of buildings. Thanks to this, we were able to plan an efficient work process, and the background team was able to get one step closer to completing the reconstruction mission. What is modularization? Modularization is a game production method that divides various elements that make up a 3D environment into small reusable units or modules, and combines these into various configurations to create environments or structures. Each module has a basic structure, and by placing or combining several of them, it is possible to create complex backgrounds. For example, by combining several types of wall sets and columns and stairs to fill in the gaps, you can create several buildings of various sizes. So this shows you like an example of what you can combine and how it can like make a building. So that looks really good. So I tried to generate an example of modularization using AI. It's similar but not exact. So yeah, it looks good, but it's not exactly like it should be for Mabinogi. So first gather buildings with the same theme, then figure out what can be used repeatedly for each building with that theme, and consider width, height, depth, design, features, etc. to plan how to divide them. Then start with a large classification and narrow it down to details. Then reverse assemble them to check if there are any things you missed during the division. It may look like it will be easy when you see the image, but since Mabinogi was not designed to be modular from the beginning, it is actually much more difficult than you might think. It seems complicated. Is there a reason for modularizing it to this extent? The first is efficiency. Since you can combine multiple modules to create various shapes, you can produce a variety of products while reducing repetitive work. You only need to work on one set of modules, and you can create multiple building combinations with it. The second is flexibility in design changes. Modification of one module automatically reflects everywhere that the module is used, so design changes can be applied in batches. In addition, the modular system is advantageous in applying various concept styles. For example, applying different concepts and colors to the same wall module can produce results with different moods. The third one helps with optimization. Many objects affect performance when rendered. Using modular backgrounds reduces redundant data and allows you to load and render some of them as needed, which helps optimize performance. You can improve performance by loading only modules needed in certain areas to minimize memory usage, and dynamically loading modules according to the camera's view. And the fourth is reusability. Modular parts can be reused in completely different environments, allowing content creation while maintaining a consistent identity. The same modular structure of windows, doors, and building walls used in Tara can be applied to other towns in the future. Even if it cannot be used in the towns currently produced due to the concept implementation issues, it can be used as a foundation for new content that will be updated in the future, allowing for smoother world building. So here you can see what like some of the buildings in Tara will look like in Unreal Engine. These are the Tara buildings that have actually been modularized. We are putting a lot of effort into making them efficient while maintaining quality. Can you imagine what the new Tara will look like? We are diligently continuing to accumulate architectural know-how so that we can simultaneously take advantage of the original identity of Mabinogi's background and the new environment called Unreal. In this way, Mabinogi's background is continuously being built and expanded with various attempts and considerations, so we ask for your interest and support. So yeah, this was a really good post. It's nice to see what some of these buildings will look like in Unreal Engine. Alright, let's play Mabinogi today. I'm feeling like, I'm in sort of a cat mood, so we're going with the cat avatar right from the start. So it's week 2 of the campfire thing. That means we have a new weekly quest for that. We're gonna do that today. And then our veteran run. A couple of dailies. Some Grandmaster stuff, and maybe some Dan tests if we have the time. So week 2, talk to developer B. It looks like we have to get 100 of 2 different items. So developer B is this guy. I guess we'll be getting the helmet of churlishness. So, the helmet he's wearing. Defeat 100 foxes. Okay, that's easy. I'll bet the foxes at Tur are taken. Unless everyone's already gotten the done. Let's go ahead and change channels. I don't want to take someone else's training zone. Are they here for the foxes, or are they just passing through? Okay, they're here for the foxes, so let's find another channel. Okay, these ones look free. We'll take these ones. try this channel. Nope. Must be like one empty channel. Well, not here. Like that. Okay, finally a victory. For now. And more. Alright, we're done with that part. What's next? 100 wolves. That's a little bit easier. Let's maybe try near the bard camp? They have dire wolves out here. Oh, there's a bunch of it back here. Alright, all done with that. And then we talk to developer B again, and then we're done. While I wait on that, let's pop this open. And this weekly is done. So there's the next helmet. And now we just need the rest here for like 5 minutes. Alright, finally done with that. Let's go do the Grandmaster stuff next. Okay, done with that. How close are we to the next? Okay, almost halfway. I'm gonna see how many Beltane passes I can pull, if any. Looks like I can pull 2. Wait, get 2 of them. We have 2 boxes. Got some gems. Let's see what we can do about XP. I need to check a few things out. We don't have a lot of vouchers. Let's check the Adventure Seal shop. I'm gonna check the event shop at the campfire too. See if I can get a better XP potion. Go back to channel 4. Okay, let's try. Let's try this shop. No, nothing for XP. Alright, nothing I can do about that. Oh, one thing I can do is, let's go to the guild hall. Okay, let's get 2 of those. Three MP, 2 intelligence. And then we're gonna need one of those Baltane crystals from this for the actual mission that I'm gonna do. Let's get two of those. And then we'll use this one, and then we'll just need 30 more. One more of those seals. And then we're gonna do Nowhere to Run. So really fast, I'll be right back, and then we'll do Nowhere to Run on Elite to level up fast, because I want to level up my Explosive Vanguard. Okay, so we're gonna summon these two doll bags. Use that, Put that over here. Nowhere to run. Elite. And this pet buff too.
Oh, nice work, Otaku. Yeah, this week's quests were actually a lot easier than last week's. Did take a while to find some foxes that weren't taken, though. A lot of people were farming them at tier earlier. Okay, so it looks like we made it to 186. What are we missing out here? There's a few gems. I think that's about everything. Okay, let's get out of here. And I need to do rebirth. Okay, we need to get to level 60 before we can do round 2, so what kind of shadow missions do we have? Rescue the Scout, and Lingering Darkness. Yeah, let's do that one. And Tara. We'll do Unelite. And how many normal XP pots do I have? One, two... I'm gonna save those for the Beltane mission. Oh wait, we have lots, good.
Okay, I think we go this way. Or wait a minute. No, what am I thinking? We go this way. And we'll do Shadowcast City on Elite after this, if this isn't enough to push me to 60. Anything over here? No. Okay, the boss hasn't appeared yet, so we missed some group of enemies somewhere. Okay, what group did we miss? Nothing back here. Nothing over here. Nothing over here. Oh, here we go. And now for the boss. Okay, let's go to the gate. And we're gonna do Nowhere to Run again. How long does this have left? 24 minutes? So this time I'm actually gonna buy a Baltane Crystal. And it'll cost most of what I've earned today, but that's okay. I really want to get those levels for Explosive Vanguard. And before we go in, let's get these two. Alright, let's go. Nowhere to Run on Elite. That buff. I should have repaired the staff before I came in, that was totally my fault. Here, just use this then. Okay, it looks like we can't level up anymore here, so we're just gonna get out. Let's make sure we have all our gems before we leave. Don't want to leave any behind. Yeah, it looks like we got everything. Now we're almost halfway to 45. Pick this up. Pick this up. Ooh, that's nice. That second title might actually be pretty good. Let's see how that compares to what I have. Yeah, this just gives me luck plus 30. Let's use this as the base title. Because this gives me more... Yeah, this is good for a lot of things. And the extra intelligence will help with my battle astrologer and magic attacks. So that'll be nice. Try that out. And I don't think I can rebirth. I don't think I have any rebirth pots anywhere. Like, we're probably all out. Yeah, looks like it. So let's get out of here and we'll turn in the Grandmaster quests. Okay, 2 more seals on that. And I gotta feed my spirit weapon. So we have all these gems that we picked up from the Baltane missions. Which won't help much, but it's a little bit of XP. And really quick, I'll be right back, and then we'll figure out what the veteran dungeon is. Okay, let's go find out what the veteran dungeon is. If it's Pieka dungeon today, then I'll focus on Dantests instead. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, we got Coil, so that's good. And let's go get the normal daily dungeon as well. Oh, I guess I have to do this thing for the event. Oh right, the Air and Adventure pass that started up. Put that like that. The problem with this kind of event is that the rewards aren't tradable. Wait a minute, how many times do they give VIP?
하고 한숨 돌리고 이랬으면.
Well, they do give 14 days of VIP if you pay for the... Hang on a second, now I'm curious. Because they're charging $22 for that pass. It's almost $22 to get the special rewards. So I want to see how much 14 days of VIP is. That better be the combo VIP. I mean, it has to be, right? Yeah, of course. It'd be a waste if it was anything else. Okay, so services...
뭐야 이 편지는? 불쾌해.
So it's about 7,450 NX is about half of this. Okay, so they give you a little over 7k NX with 14 days VIP. Like if you cut this price in half, because I think this is the... Oh wait, that's the life one. Yeah, no, we looked at the combination one. Okay. So that's worth a little over 7k NX on its own. The 14 days of VIP that they offer. And that's like a third of the price tag. So I'll give them credit there. I didn't notice that when I was looking at that the other day. But it is still kind of annoying how a lot of the items in here are not tradable. So you can get all this stuff up top for free. But if you want all this special stuff, you have to pay $22. Like none of the outfits can be sold or anything like that. So
이 편지는 제법 잘 썼네. B+.
It's kind of a waste. Also, I don't know why they're giving out one of these cat pets, because you can already get a free pet like this from the event shop at the campfire thing. So they really should have put like a Perling or a Corgi as the special reward here, or some other valuable pet that we haven't seen in a while that would be useful.
좀 쉬었으면 좋겠어.
Like, it's not that the rewards are bad, it's just that you can't really do anything with them. You can't really trade them or sell them if you want to, and often the pet they give us is kind of a waste. So if you take away the 7k that the
이
combination
편지는 제법
adds
잘
to
썼네.
it,
B
then that
플러스.
means you're paying about 14 bucks for everything else. Because this is about 7k NX worth of VIP, give or take.
아고 한숨 돌리고 이랬으면.
Why is this item even on here? This is like a one-time use thing or whatever. Is that really even worth putting on the special list? I could see that maybe being on the normal one, but why is that like here on one of the rewards that you pay money for? Yeah, some of the consumable rewards could be a little bit better too. Like really you're putting an age potion selection box and a
좀 쉬었으면 좋겠어.
name and chat color change box in the special rewards. That's a waste. And like one of these complete EXP skill training ones, like they couldn't have given us one of the good ones that gives like 3 or 4 times the amount. They only give you one of these average ones. See, a lot of these rewards are just kind of crap. Like the consumable rewards are pretty bad. Yeah, they're wasting our time with another Errand Adventure Pass. I think if they just made like a lot of the chairs and outfits like tradable and sellable, and if they just added better consumable rewards, then it would be worth the money. But like, as it is now, it's just kind of
적자세요.
crap. Okay, where's the daily dungeon? I've been streaming Mabinogi a lot lately. I mean, usually I'm pretty active in the game. I'm not AFK too often, except for that 5 minutes I have to be at the campfire, but... Yeah, you might just be seeing me when I'm like spending 5 minutes in front of the campfire at the beginning of my stream, because I do that. Looks like we have Rabby for the normal one. How much durability does it have? That's fine. I think that orb will hold for the veteran run. Let's change up my gear. Scythe, orb, and staff. And I need to switch to Dark Diviner. A dragon at Festia. You sure you don't have me confused with someone else? I haven't been in Festia in like months. I can't remember the last time I went there. Maybe like in April or May or something once. No, I try and be pretty active. I mean, I usually just do dailies and stuff and events. Okay, let's get to Coil. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I don't remember their name, but there is like one streamer that is AFK a lot when they play Mabby. How much summon time? 45 minutes? I guess that's enough. And that one in case fine leather drops. Where's that veteran pass at? Never find anything in this inventory. Oh, there it is. Oh wait, do I have a meteor? Yeah. Since we're pretty close to the boost, I'll use that. Any survivors? Doesn't look like it. Pull those guys together. Been getting real lucky hitting those right orbs. But getting pretty close to another boost, so I'll use Meteor again. Oh, and what a great spot to use it. Hey, lucky guess. Alright, now for the boss. So I think it's a headless. And there should be a giant fireball sprite too. Yeah. A bunch of these useless gremlins. Okay, let's start out with some meteors. Get as many of those gremlins as I can. There. Kinda wanted to use that on the boss, but they're in the way. Oh, actually, we have one more coming up. Watch it. Okay, get back. Okay, get rid of that thing. Wait, you're still alive? Get rid of it. There we go. 28 minutes and 54 seconds. Oh nice, we have some fine leather. Let's go ahead and take out 10 of that for the 15 that we have, and we can sell that stack. Okay. There it goes. I'll probably sell real fast. And Rabby Dungeon. So we'll do this on Advanced. And let's use this pet buff. That'll give us some more movement speed for the next 10 minutes. Oh, we're going all the way back here for a key. Then we have to go all the way back. So I'll use my scooter on my way back. There's the boss key. Hey, and some fine leather. Very nice. Dungeon Merchant. Boss. One shot. They're all down. Sure, I'll take that like ability pot, I guess. Spirit gems and reforged tools. Alright, that's done. Have to get a new one of those orbs soon. And really quick, I will be right back. Okay, so let's feed the spirit weapon here. And I have these two. 24. %, not too bad. Oh, and that fine leather sold. That's what that little notification was. So when I went in, I had 5 fine leather left. How much do I have now? 6, so we found 1 in there. Let's clean out my inventory a little bit. Get rid of that one, get rid of that one. Couple more things to get rid of. Go and put this up with the other appearance scrolls there. Yeah, that might be helpful. Take that. Do we have like a week to use that? Alright, well I think that's good enough for today. Got some seals for my Battle Astrologer, Grandmaster Battle Astrologer. Did some daily runs, got this week's weekly done right away. So we will be streaming Mabinogi again tomorrow.